Caretaker sings to Comatose Dragon, unaware watching Emperor is her adopted son. HFY Hub score 8.8 out of 10. Okay, listen. You know that feeling when you're trying to download a massive file on bad Wi-Fi and the progress bar just sits at 99% for hours, and you can't walk away because you're terrified it'll fail if you stop staring at it? That is Rachel Morgan's entire life. She's a doctor stuck in the basement of a massive spaceship, taking care of a comatose dragon named Valrix who hasn't moved in 300 years. Everyone else left. The budget is gone. But she stays there, manually adjusting his meds and singing folk songs to him every single day. I'm telling you, the level of stubborn patience this woman has is insane. It reminds me so much of when I was trying to get that stray cat in my parking garage to trust me. I sat on the concrete for 3 weeks just blinking at it until it finally ate a piece of ham. Rachel is doing that, but with a 20-foot armored lizard warrior. The vibe of this story starts out super quiet and lonely, just the hum of machines and her singing, which honestly gave me goosebumps. I stopped typing halfway through a sentence just to listen. But then it hits you with this massive emotional truck. It turns out the Emperor, who is secretly watching her on the security cams like a creeper with a heart of gold, is actually the guy who saved her from a pile of rubble 30 years ago. He's been her secret dad from a distance the whole time. When the Emperor finally walks into the room and starts singing with her to wake the dragon up, man, I leaned back so hard in my chair I almost tipped over. It's a story about paying debts you can never really repay and how being stubborn is actually a superpower. If you like stories where the little guy, or in this case, the little human doctor, shames an entire empire just by being decent, you need to watch this. Number 1, Accessibility Barrier, 9 out of 10. Super straightforward. You don't need a wiki to understand Doctor helps sleeping dragon Emperor has regrets. It flows really well. The only reason it's not a 10 is because the backstory about the Scourge Wars and the colony attacks comes in little fragments that you have to piece together, kind of like listening to a conference call where the connection keeps cutting out, but you get the gist eventually. Number 2, Character Cred, 10 out of 10. Rachel is my hero. She isn't a soldier or a chosen one, she's just a doctor who refuses to quit. Her motivation that she was saved once so she has to save someone else is so solid. And the Emperor, he's complicated. He's a 300-year-old dragon pretending to be a human inspector. The guilt he carries feels heavy, like carrying a backpack full of rocks up a flight of stairs. Number 3, Closure Status, 9 out of 10. We get a really satisfying ending. The dragon wakes up, spoilers, sorry, but come on, the bad guys get caught and the family reunion happens. It leaves things open for the future of the Empire, but the main emotional arc, closed and stamped. It felt good, like finally submitting a project after working on it all weekend. Number 4, Dialogue Drip, 8 out of 10. The banter between Rachel and the Inspector, Emperor, is great. It has that, I know you're hiding something tension. The speeches at the end gets a little grand and political, like a CEO giving a vision statement, but considering they are literally dragons and emperors, I guess they're allowed to be dramatic. Number 5, Endgame Payoff, 10 out of 10. The moment the Emperor reveals his true form and sings, incredible. And then the court scene where he claims her as his daughter, I legit had to put my coffee down because my hands were shaking a little. It's the protective dad trope dialed up to 11, pure serotonin. Number 6, Found Family Factor, 10 out of 10. This is the whole enchilada. You've got an orphan human, a guilt-ridden dragon dad, and a grumpy dragon uncle, Valrix. They fit together perfectly. It shows that family isn't about blood, it's about who shows up when the power goes out and the oxygen pumps fail. Number 7, HFY Video Length, 1530 min. It feels like a solid 20-minute episode of a good TV show. It doesn't rush the quiet moments in the beginning, which makes the loud, chaotic moments at the end hit harder, perfect for a lunch break. Number 8, Logic Coagulation, 7 out of 10. Okay, so the Emperor just happens to find her on the security feed after 30 years, and he decides to visit right before the sabotage. It's a little convenient, like finding a parking spot right in front of the door at the mall on Christmas Eve. But I'm willing to suspend my disbelief because the emotional logic works perfectly. Number 9, Narrative Gut Punch, 9 out of 10. When Rachel is manually pumping the oxygen and crying, knowing she's not strong enough but refusing to stop, that hurt. That was visceral. It reminded me of trying to fix something you know is broken beyond repair but you just can't let go. It hits you right in the feels. Number 10, Packing Pulse, 8 out of 10. Starts slow, which is necessary to set the mood of the lonely ward, then it ramps up fast with the sabotage. It felt balanced, like a good playlist that starts with lo-fi beats and ends with heavy metal. Number 11, Possible Sequel, yes. I want to see Rachel navigating the dragon court. You just know there are going to be snobby dragon nobles who hate her, and I want to see Valrix and the Emperor shut them down. Plus, seeing Valrix learn to live in the modern world would be hilarious. Number 12, POV perspective, 9 out of 10. We stick mostly with Rachel, which grounds the story in her exhaustion and determination. We get a few peeks at the Emperor's perspective, which helps us understand his guilt. It's a good mix. Number 13, The Human Edge, 10 out of 10. This story defines the human edge as stubborn compassion. Humans aren't stronger or magical, we just don't know when to quit. Rachel saves a dragon emperor not with a sword but with a lullaby and manual labor. That is peak HFY. Number 14, The Onion Factor Tearjerker score, 9 out of 10. I'm not crying, you're crying. The scene where Valrix wakes up and asks if they won the battle, and the Emperor says, "We won because of you." Yeah, that got me. I had to wipe my eyes before my screen blurred out. Number 15, Thematic Resonance, 10 out of 10. The theme of paying it forward is woven into every scene. Rachel was saved, so she saves Valrix. Valrix saved the colony, so the Emperor saves him. It's a beautiful circle of kindness that stands out against the backdrop of a cold, political empire. Number 16, Trope Remix score, 8 out of 10. Takes the Sleeping Beauty trope and mixes it with secret royalty. Instead of a kiss waking him up, it's a duet. And the princess isn't the one sleeping, she's the one doing the saving. It feels fresh. Number 17, Visual Bang Per Buck, 8 out of 10. The descriptions of the dragon inside the pod, bronze scales, dull gold, were really vivid. And the image of the massive dragon emperor curling up to be small enough to help Rachel in the medical ward, that's a cool visual contrast. Number 18, Wholesomeness/Cozy rating, 8 out of 10. Despite the sabotage and the coma, the core of this story is incredibly cozy. It's about singing songs in a quiet room and building a family. It wraps you up like a warm blanket by the end. Number 19, World Building Vibe Check, 7 out of 10. We get hints of a massive draconic empire, wars, and colonies. It's a bit vague on the details like, do humans live everywhere? Are they second-class citizens? But it gives enough context for the story to work. Number 20, Xenobiology Integration, 7 out of 10. I like the detail about the recursive memory loops and how dragon brains work differently. The fact that their voices combine to create a bridge between species was a nice sci-fi touch. HFY Hub score, 8.8 out of 10. Hope to see you at the next HFY Hub video review.